My name's Joel,
And I'm Andrene.
and you're listening to Rewind Rewatch, a 90s movie podcast. So the years have gone from me doing it too much to now you doing it too much.
Well,
What's happening?
I think I actually did that for one of our listeners on our Instagram. I believe it was Kristen who said this. She said every time she listens now, she does the yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh no. What have we done?
So I threw that out there for her, you
Oh,
know.
what have we done? Okay, well, shout out to Kristen and shout out to everyone else who is listening to another episode of Rewind Rewatch, podcast where my sister and I rewatch 90s movies to discuss how well they've aged. At the end of this and every episode, we would try to determine the theme of the movie, and then we will give it a rewind rating from 1 to 5 rewinds based on how likely we are to rewatch this movie again in the future.
That is correct.
As we do for every episode, we pick from a list of requested films from you, the listeners. If you have already requested a film, shout out to you for adding to the list. If you haven't yet and you can think of a film from the 90s that you'd like us to cover, you can always reach out to us on social media at RR90spod, or you can also email us at rewindrewatch1990s@gmail.com. And for today's episode, we alternate picks each week. So this was my pick, and I picked The Little Rascals from 1994.
Yeah, man, this movie, what can I say about it other than the fact that we watched it all the time as kids?
Yeah, so I feel like our little brother used to watch this all the time.
Yeah.
And then we, by proxy, watched it all the time with him. There were like a few movies that I feel like our brother used to always watch like on repeat. This was one of them. He used to always watch Holes,
Yeah.
the Shia LaBeouf movie.
Yeah.
I feel like there was a third. Was it Goofy movie? That might have been us.
Yeah, we all love that movie.
That might have been us more than him. But I feel like there was another movie that he used to like watch on repeat over and over. I can't think of what the other one was. But anyway, obviously this was a VHS classic in our house, and yeah, this was fun to revisit. So that's kind of I feel like the last few movies are movies that I had been seeing for the first time, so I kind of wanted to rewatch a movie that I was very familiar with. I mean, Players Club I'm familiar with, but not to the level of this movie where I could like quote many of the lines before they even happened.
Absolutely.
So who did us the favor of recommending this movie?
Well, this week it was requested by 2 Texans.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So Texas coming in strong this week. We have Rubik's Cube, and Chris.
Shout out to Rubik's Cube. Shout out to Chris. Shout out to Texas.
This was directed and co-written by Penelope Spheris. And she also did the Wayne's World film in 92, as well as the Beverly Hillbillies in 93.
I was also looking her up because I'm like, I know this name. I couldn't remember where I knew the name from. Probably from the opening credits of this movie, to be honest. But yes, she did direct Wayne's World. She also has a number of writing credits to her name, including 24 episodes of Roseanne. So, shout out to Penelope Spheris.
Yeah.
All right. Before we get into the nitty gritty of the Little Rascals, can you give us a 1-sentence summary of this film?
I would say it's about a boy who has a crush on a girl, butts heads with his boyfriends who are in a He-Man Womun Haters Club.
Right. So our boy with girlfriend is Alfalfa. The little kid who likes to wiggle his ears and his hair pops up like a boner every time he's
Oh God.
turned on.
It's
Apparently,
not even just that. Like it's normally constantly up.
yeah, but there's
But then there's that one scene that
there's a scene where it pops.
yeah.
There's a scene where it pops.
I didn't really care for that.
I didn't care for it at all. And I think one of the things that I did not realize as much growing up that I realized this time around, like, there's a lot of dick jokes in this movie.
A lot.
There's like 3 that I counted.
A lot.
They probably went over my head when I was watching this when I was younger, or I think they just went over my head. But watching it now, I was like, oh, okay. I don't know that I needed that in this children's movie.
They love doing that in kids' movies.
Yeah. So that was one of them. So Alfalfa is in the He-Man Woman Haters Club. His best friend Spanky is the president of the club. And the whole idea is that it's this group of boys that doesn't like girls. And they're all basically between the ages of like 5 and 9. So they're like small children.
Yeah.
And so Alfalfa is a lover boy and has a crush on this girl who he's courting, apparently. And he is doing this all behind his friend's back because their whole club is on the basis of them not hanging out with girls.
Yeah. You can't touch them, you can't hang out with them, and you must never, ever fall in love with them.
No.
Like, it's part of the rules.
So let's bring this back to, I guess, our childhood.
Mm-hmm.
When do you remember, like, first being attracted to boys? Like, what age was it?
Oh, wow.
Because it probably wasn't when you were 5 or 6, like these kids.
Yes, it was. Kindergarten.
It was.
Kindergarten, John.
Not his first and last name. Wow. All right, John, you made an impression. whatever you did in first grade, John.
He was this little kid, and he was so cute. I remember, and we went to a very small, private school, so there weren't that many kids in the class. And he was the best looking, so it was kind of like, okay, I guess he's the hot guy in class. And I remember, like, the girls would, like, whisper and giggle about him. And one day after school, he was getting ready to get on the bus, and he turned around and he blew me a kiss. And I about died. I was like, oh my God. Nothing ever came of that, by the way. Like, we were never boyfriend and girlfriend, but it was just the fact that
you never had an Alfalfa darling moment.
No, we never had any moments.
He didn't paddle a canoe down a river for you while singing.
He might have just been like, I'm gonna throw her a bone or something. Who knows what he was thinking? But that day, man, I was on cloud 9.
All right, well, shout out to that.
And you definitely had crushes at that age.
No, I definitely was crushing on girls at a very young age.
You gonna tell a story?
I might as well tell the story now. There was this girl, we were in kindergarten, so I'm like 5, and this girl that I had a crush on that was like my quote unquote girlfriend. And we went to some field trip where we were like at a park, and me and this girl decide we're gonna like sneak away to have some private time and kiss. Now, mind you, my understanding of kissing as a 5-year-old is basically mimicking whatever I had seen on TV.
Right.
So like hand on the face, kissing and moving my head back and forth.
You were doing a lot. Like I'll say that your kiss at 5 was definitely more than probably like my kiss at 13 because
there was no tongue. There was nothing.
Yeah,
like
but
that.
the guy that I kissed at 13 didn't put his hand on my face.
Oh well, he didn't. He wasn't watching the right films. So mind you, me and this girl, 5th grade. I'm 5th grade. 5 years old. We're thinking we've like snuck away and we're like under some tree somewhere in the park. Meanwhile, the adults are probably 50 feet away from us watching the entire thing. And they like call us over and tell us like, they say something to tell us like we need to get back with the group and they need to stop.
Calm down.
And at first I'm like, oh man, we're about to be in trouble. And this is like my very... I have a very slight memory of this because it was such a long time ago. But I do remember like being like kind of scolded, but not really. And then as soon as we like walked away, all the adults just started cracking up laughing. Yeah. And so when you're small, it's like your scope of the world is so much like everything seems much bigger. Mm-hmm. But now that I look back on it and try to think about it from the adult perspective, like we were probably right in front of them.
Yeah. A few yards away
Yeah.
by a tree.
But thinking like, oh, we've like escaped over and they're never gonna see us. But like that's not what happened. So yeah. So I think I was probably more Alfalfa than Spanky, but at the same time, if I think about first grade, second grade, third grade, like growing up in elementary school, like I wasn't really hanging out with girls. I didn't have female friends.
Yeah,
Probably not
no.
until like middle school,
Yeah.
high school even, where I was like, could see girls as my peers. Like that was not a thing when I was 7.
True, because like back then, boys just had cooties for the most part.
Right.
Like there, of course, there were exceptions. Like, oh, that guy's cute, but for the most part, a general guy, gross.
So that's kind of the tone of this film, and that Alfalfa is kind of this outlier. There's this really cool scene where the guys and the girls are both having simultaneous sleepovers.
Oh, I love that scene.
And complaining about the opposite sex. Mm-hmm. And the guys are talking about how girls talk too much, and the girls are talking about how all they want to do is get dirty and play around and make fart jokes and
yeah. And I want to be like, poor girls, that's not going to stop now. Like, it only gets worse as you age.
Girls get along with each other. Boys stand up for themselves. Girls care. Boys take what's theirs. Boys won't listen. All they want to do is talk. They like to moon ya. No, we don't.
Yeah, it's kind of like this very juvenile perspective of what the opposite sex does. And to be fair, like a lot of what they're saying is not completely wrong.
Exactly.
But it's also like if I'm 7 or 8 years old, I have no interest in this and I don't want to hang out with these people.
Mm-hmm.
How would you describe Darla now? If we talk about the female perspective, and Darla is the main girl in this film. She's the main love interest of Alfalfa, and she also catches the eye of this other douchebag kid that moves into the neighborhood.
Waldo. Yeah, Darla is Miss Prim and Proper. Like every time we see her, she got on these like cute little dresses on. The boat ride with Alfalfa, she's carrying a parasol. I was like, who is this girl? And like the way they talk it's very dignified and very refined. Uh-huh. And she wants to be in this talent show and she wants Alfalfa to accompany her. And she's very much a romantic. Mm-hmm. You can tell she's looking for a man that's not afraid to stand up to his peers and to claim her as his own. That's really all she wants. And Alfalfa is like basically giving her all these sweet nothings. He's like, oh yeah, empty promises. Oh yeah, I don't care about those guys. And she's like, yeah, but you're in a He-Man Womun Haters Club. Like, how could that be? He's like, yeah, but I mean, I'm not like them. I'm a sensitive man. I'm not like those guys. And to prove it to you, no, she says, well, if you want to prove it to me, how about you take me for a picnic in the clubhouse? Which is really wild if you think about it.
Oh, it's incredibly wild. I was waiting to get to it. I have many thoughts. I have many thoughts about this clubhouse rendezvous.
Because the thing about it is, like, he invites her out for a picnic, and she's kind of like, yeah, but every time we meet, obviously, like, we're always away from your friend. Nobody knows what we're doing. And so she wants him to prove.
She's like, yeah, she basically says, like, yo, you're ashamed of me. You keep hiding me. And he's like, no, I'm not. I'm not ashamed of you. Whole time, he's very ashamed of her.
Yes.
But he's fronting like he's not. But it's like, bro, like, ain't no such thing as halfway crooks. So, like, why are you playing both sides of the fence? And I get why he's doing it. And also, you have to think about being, like, an 8-year-old. Like, you're not, like, really ready to like stand on business. Like you're 8.
No.
You're trying to fit in. And he's trying to have his cake and eat it too, basically.
Yeah, yeah. Then he agrees because he says, you know what? So apparently this movie takes place in the summertime because they're not in school. And yes. he says, wait, tomorrow's swimming day. So they won't be at the clubhouse. Perfect. Sure, I could take you for a picnic in the clubhouse. What he doesn't realize is that all of the members of his club are overhearing this conversation because they realize he was not at roll call for the meeting, which is a huge mistake.
Nah, yeah.
Like, come on. You know when they meet. So you easily should have at least went to the meeting.
He skipped the group meeting. He skipped the group meeting to go canoeing down a river with his girlfriend.
With nary an adult in sight. Like,
well, I'm glad you brought that up because there are very few adults in this film, period.
yeah.
And I was laughing as I was watching the film yesterday. Like, I was laughing at how these kids are both never home,
Mm-hmm.
nor do they have any parental supervision, including, I forgot to mention, when the boys have their sleepover, the sleepover is in the clubhouse,
That's right.
which is technically in the middle of nowhere. And this is after it's been burnt down. So they're sleeping in a tent in the clubhouse,
Yes. Yes.
which is like in the middle of a field somewhere in town. There's no adults, there's no parents. The only time we even see Spanky and Alfalfa's parents are when each of them goes to their house to look for each other and they get told that they're not home. So like, and we see Buckwheat's mom at the end, who was played by Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah, we also see what's his name's dad. Waldo's dad is Trump.
Oh, that's right. That's right. So yeah, so it's like they're out like running capers all day, every day.
Yeah.
Some of these kids are tiny. Like if we look at like the two kids,
Buckwheat and what's that kid's name?
Yeah,
Porky.
Buckwheat and Porky.
Yeah.
They look like they're like 5.
They're little. Yeah, they're
very,
very
the
young.
they're the clearly the youngest of the group. And Buckwheat is played by Lil Nicky from Fresh Prince.
Mm-hmm. Ross Bagley.
Yeah, like I said. like I said. So the B story, like the main story here is like the whole like Alfalfa being torn between his friends and his girl. The B story here is this go-kart race that the Little Rascals, the He-Man Womun Haters Club, basically like they won last year. They're trying to defend their title. They got the best car. And there's these 2 bullies that are basically trying to beat them. They routinely beat up Alfalfa on a daily basis.
All the time.
And they're trying to basically steal the car because they figure that's the only way that they can win the race, which they do eventually steal the car. And the He-Man Club has to basically build a new one from scratch. So these 2 bullies, Woim and Butch, who of course wear leather jackets
they have to.
as the bad guys always do.
Yes.
Something I thought about them that I never really thought about before, because at the beginning of the film, we see when the initial meeting takes place, the one that Alfalfa is not present for, Woim and Butch are standing on a hill watching them all go into this clubhouse and close the door behind them. And they look a little left out.
Yeah.
And it made me wonder, are they being left out and they're not allowed into the club because they're bullies? Or are they bullies because they've been left out?
Yeah.
And it kind of put the whole bullying thing in a different perspective for me, because I'm like, damn, maybe they just want to be included and they're not in the club. And so as a result, they just pick on them.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's a good question. They are definitely on the older side of the boys.
Yeah.
Like they would be around Spanky and Alfalfa's age.
Yeah.
So it makes
They're
you
probably
wonder,
like 9, 10.
Yeah, it's like, did they try to get in and Spanky was like, nah? But I mean, Spanky's up for recruitment because later on he tries to recruit Waldo.
Because Waldo helped him out.
Well, he thought.
Yeah, he
did.
thought.
So like he's open to more members, but for some reason it's like, yeah, he's almost putting it in their faces, because as the other boys are coming in and they're showing the sign to get in, like it's very obvious that Woman and Butch know what the sign is. Like they could just do it and come in. But they're just kind of like with their arms crossed at the top of the hill. So yeah, you might be right. Maybe for some reason something happened in the past and they're like, well, now. But if that's the case, why wouldn't they just beat up both of them? Why is it just Alfalfa?
Well, Alfalfa's the easiest one to beat up. He's a very skinny boy. He doesn't stand up for himself. He's a runner. He's not a fighter. So it's like he's easy pickings.
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
So I guess the other thing, we talked a little bit about Darla. there are a number of characters that we meet here outside of Alfalfa and Spanky who are like the main characters, but there's a bunch of other boys. We talked about Buckwheat and Porky, who are like the little boys, and they're just adorable throughout the film. Just like they have this whole like buddy comedy thing going on between them.
They do.
They play off of each other really well for like 5-year-old kids. We have Stymie, who is the bald black kid.
Yeah.
Who to me kind of was like the adult of the group.
Yes, because even when they have court after Alfalfa accidentally burns down the clubhouse, he's the one who's like pleading with the court as to what the proper punishment should be. Because after they find him guilty, the court, who is Spanky, says he'll be executed at dawn. And then Stymie walks in. He's like, "All right, how about
Your Honor? Let me bargain with you, dog."
He said, "Well, if it pleases the court, how about we just let him, his punishment be he has to stay at the clubhouse 24/7 basically to guard their little derby car.
Yeah.
Because there's a derby race coming up every year and they've been retaining the title for years and they want to make sure they win again. So it's like, we know that Butch and William are a hot mess. They might try to steal it. So your job will be to man it night and day." And he's like, "Yeah, that sounds about good. The court agrees."
Yeah, Stymie he's the voice of reason. He's also the one when the group is about to crash out and implode on itself because they don't have a way of building back up the clubhouse. He's the one that gathers everybody together and says, a club isn't just based on us having a clubhouse. A club is buddies sticking together no matter what. Like he's the heart and soul of the group.
He is, because then later on, after Alfalfa and Spanky have their falling out and they're no longer speaking, he goes to each one of them and says, like, "You only get like a once in a lifetime friend once in a lifetime."
Nah,
I was like, "Oh, bars."
He's giving bars this whole movie. Like, this is the whole thing. And I feel like he kind of like slides under the radar when you're watching it. Because he's just so mature. Then you have
and that's all he says.
Who just says reminds me of Yeah from Sandlot.
It actually reminded me of Sandlot a lot because of the whole, like, the way that they played baseball in Sandlot was how these boys are in the clubhouse.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally all day. At the beginning of the film, you see Petey, the dog with that circle around his eye, and he's running around and rounding up the boys for an emergency clubhouse meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And when they are getting ready to do that, you see him go to Froggy's house, and Froggy opens the door and he's like, "All right, Mom, be back later," and closes the door back. And that's it. Like, I have no idea where you're going, how long you're going to be gone.
And when he said, "I'll be back later," he meant, "I'll be back next month." Because these kids are out.
Because there was a sleepover
these
that
kids
night.
are out all day, every day.
Yeah.
They're running around town, getting pieces together to build this go-kart.
Going to banks to get loans.
They're going to the carnival. They're stealing admission money. They're doing all types of things. They go to the lumber yard.
They do.
They do. They're doing anything and everything all summer long. The parents have no idea where they are.
They're not worried about it. It's the same town.
So yeah, Froggy, who has the froggy voice.
Mm-hmm. Has that monkey.
He does have
because when they're getting ready to get into the meeting, it's the monkey who does the sign, not Oh, he does this stick pencils up his nose for some reason.
And he's the secretary.
That's right.
He takes the notes.
Yeah.
For every meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any boy that you enjoyed the most?
I just really liked all of the scenes that had Porky and Buckwheat.
Yes.
They were just so cute.
Yeah.
They could say anything and I would just be like, "This is adorable." Like they just, the innocence was just there. Also, like when they laughed and giggled together, it was just so cute.
We're going to the race. We're going to win first place. And you have an ugly face.
So I really like them. But then as far as like, I guess just the acting, Darla just stood out to me as like, yo, how's this girl so poised?
She crushed,
she just came off as just like, oh, those silly boys, and she had her own little flock of girls following her around, and she
just giggled the entire film.
Yes.
Yeah.
So compared to them, she definitely stood up as like, oh, she definitely is running this clique for obvious reasons. I enjoyed her, which is funny because I found out later on that like she was the one that was one of the hardest to coach because she kept looking directly into the camera.
They show that on the end credits with all the outtakes.
Yeah.
Brittany, stop looking at the camera, Brittany. Brittany, stop looking at the camera.
Like they said frequently they had to stop filming to remind her to stop looking at the camera.
That was her entire outtake. Like it was just them showing her to like clip after clip after clip of her staring directly at the camera.
But clearly her acting was good enough that they decided it was worth it.
Yeah, for sure. Nah, and all the kids crushed. And I also feel like I would be remiss to leave out the fact that Spanky was such a likable lead.
Oh my God.
Like he was such a likable lead and also extremely cute.
Yes.
And the way that he kills in this movie, like the him versus Darla with Alfalfa in the middle is such a enjoyable sequence throughout the course of the film because Spanky and Darla are such good actors.
Yeah.
So they're like carrying this film, which is amazing. Yeah. And I love whenever a movie has like kids just doing all the heavy lifting. And I think that's what makes this movie so much fun. So Alfalfa, we have to talk about how he is wilding out because not only does he bring Darla to the clubhouse, which is literally a woman haters club. So that already is super flagrant. He didn't need to do that. Then, in a tizzy to try to get her out of the clubhouse, when he finds out that the boys are there, he asks her first to hide in a closet, which she refuses to do.
Of course.
Then he forgets to blow out the candles to his candlelight lunch.
Well, he tried to. He was blowing them out, but he was doing it so fast that he blew out two and he missed the third.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then he's the one that ends up being the one that burns down the clubhouse.
That's fully unforgivable.
It's unforgivable for many reasons. Then they're like, yo, all right, instead of execution, your punishment is that you have to guard our car.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
He fails to do that. And why does he fail to do that? Because he is still pining after Darla and decides that instead of guarding the car, he's going to enter himself into a talent show to sing a love song for his ex-girlfriend who's there with her new boyfriend to try to win her back. And in the process of him doing all that, he leaves the keys in the car and Butch and Woim just take it.
That was so frustrating. Like, on the one hand, I understand in the sense that he found the checklist that Spanky had wrote that showed that Spanky and the boys had basically sabotaged his date. He didn't know that. Remember, during the date, they poured the grape juice through a sneaker. They put kitty litter in his sandwiches and all that. So it kind of like ruined the date. And so when he realized Spanky was behind it, now he's tight. And he's like, oh no, I got to tell Darla it wasn't my fault. I got to try to.
Well, yes, and the date was actually ruined because they showed up. So even if they hadn't done the list, they would have just showed up and be like, yo, you got a girl in our clubhouse. And the date would have been ruined anyway. So, like, I don't think he really has a leg to stand on here. Like, he is wrong throughout this film.
He's definitely wrong.
He's wrong throughout this film.
Because then it's like, why'd you leave the keys in the car?
Bro, he's not focused on the right
parking
things.
It there, okay, fine, maybe. But, like, you just left it and hopped out?
But not even okay even for that because this was your
job was to guard it.
And then you left to go chase after Darla and was like, oh, let me leave these two 5-year-olds to guard the car instead.
Oh, that's right.
This is when they get the I got a pickle.
Yeah. Luckily, it worked out because the car was booby trapped.
Yes.
So when they pulled the keys out, Butch and them basically got covered in pickle juice. Mm-hmm. But you know, like in these movies, it's like if you get covered in like Home Alone, like feathers and what was it, glue or something, like that's not going to stop me from beating you up.
It's not going to stop me from stealing the
car.
It's
like, oh, I'm covered in pickle juice. And I guess...
Like, yeah, this sucks, but I'm still stealing the car.
But they didn't steal it.
No, they didn't. They left it. They waited until he was singing Bubbles, and then they were like, this is our chance.
That scene is was so stupid because
But also the fact that he didn't taste that there was soap in his water.
well, he did the last big gulp he did. Remember, his mouth was full, and he went to swallow. He's like, and he starts saying, "You
Cartoon
are
ass swallow.
so beautiful," and the bubbles are popping out of his
All I
mouth.
need is the air that I breathe.
To love you.
Oh my God, his voice was awful.
I think what's funny about it is
He's a really bad singer.
Darla says that the voice is what draws her to him.
Yes, that is funny.
She's in love with his voice, and it's like it's comical, like how bad his voice actually is. But to Darla, it's music to her ears. So
compared to Waldo, who can actually sing.
yes, but that's why I found it strange that like during the performance, his voice sounds exactly the same. The only difference is that the bubbles are coming out of his mouth and people are laughing. So now she's stewing and she's mad. She's like, oh, like she's so embarrassed, and I'm like, but his voice is the same, sweetie. Like, what? The bubbles made it embarrassing?
Well, everybody's laughing at him, and he dedicated his performance to her. So now she's embarrassed. So now she's like, yo, I hate this guy. He's making me look crazy. He already ruined her dance recital, showing up with a frog in his tutu.
She didn't know that was him.
She did not know that was him. That's true.
She thought it was
That's
two
true.
weird girls.
Well, while we talk about being flagrant, I also want to talk about when we initially meet Waldo.
Oh man.
Because I thought this was flagrant too, because he's there to Alfalfa shows up to Darla's house to pick her up for this date. And he gets attacked by like a Rottweiler, which happens to be Waldo's dog. And Waldo comes over and says, "Forgive my effrontery, but you, miss, are a rare rose in a garden of weeds. You have the sophistication of a woman of 12.
Man, when I tell you, I said, oh, he came out the gate like, I'm much older. I have a much better vocabulary. And also, like, this guy is polished. He comes out with a driver. He's wearing so as far as clothing, Alfalfa does wear slacks, a dress shirt, suspenders, and a bow tie. So he is dressed up.
Yeah.
But Waldo got on a suit and tie.
Yeah.
Like, he's like
he just left the country club. Like,
yes, he definitely reeks of money. And he even says that his dad has just taken over like the oil refinery.
Mm-hmm.
And so Darla's like, oh, that's why you're so refined.
Mm-hmm.
Alfalfa's like, that's why he's so oily.
Uh-huh. But what I thought was the flagrant part is after he leaves. Now, mind you, Alfalfa's here. He's about to pick his girl up. They're going on this date. Waldo comes, gives his little spiel, and leaves out. And then Darla's standing there, and she's like, wow, what a hunk. Yeah. I'm like, bro, I'm standing right here. Like,
he's better looking.
I'm standing right here. You're going to say, what a hunk? I'm here to pick you up on this date. Like, kind of disrespectful, bro. At least wait till I'm not here, and then say that to your friends. Yo, when we saw Waldo, he was mad cute. That's funny. Yeah. But it's like, bro, I'm standing right here.
She's a kid. Cut her some slack.
I mean, we can.
You gotta cut her some slack.
But the way that they're carrying on in this film is not. They think they're adults. Like,
that's true.
She talks about the type of man she needs. Like, it's like these are 9-year-old kids. She's like, I need a man that da da. It's like, what are you talking about?
But I mean, honestly, though, a man like Waldo Aloysius Johnston III.
I hated this kid. Can I just say? I hate this kid so much.
You're supposed to hate this man.
No, I'm saying even now, as a 40-year-old man, I'm watching this movie and I'm like, I hate this kid.
But also, who's he raised by? So I mean, can you really?
Yeah.
You know, this is how he's been raised, and we see that Waldo is not a good guy. The first time I think I started to notice that this watch was. From the very beginning, Darla's been talking about wanting to do this talent show, and she asks Alfalfa to sing with her. And so now that she and Alfalfa had this falling out, he's ashamed of her after the fire at the clubhouse, and she storms off, and now she's dating Waldo. And they go to this talent show together to sing, but when you listen to the song, it's basically just Waldo.
Yeah.
She has one line.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, bro, but she was the one that wanted to do the talent show. And you took over the entire performance.
That's true.
So from the very beginning,
she seemed okay with it though. He was laying it on pretty thick. He went down on a knee and she sat down on his
Yeah.
like it was a whole thing. He was two-stepping.
She had a sparkling red dress on.
Nah, yeah. It was definitely she was definitely giving sidekick, but I don't know. I guess this is what they agreed on.
But then as the movie progresses and you see them interacting, it's like it's very much he's like alpha male kind of like
100%.
It's like, okay, like you sit back there, like don't touch them to sit in the car, basically. Kind of vibes is what he was giving.
Don't touch nothing, sit in the car.
That's basically what he was.
Oh man, he was giving Joel Santana energy.
because during the Derby race, like she was like talking to him about like how he was driving around, like, hey, I think we should go that way because it was the wrong way. The course was marked incorrectly.
Women have no sense of direction.
How do you say that to me? And I'm a woman.
Yeah, well, he said it, and then kicked her out after she continued to question him.
Well,
She asked
because he was playing dirty. He had spikes in his car and basically ran Alfalfa and Spanky off the road.
Yeah, he did.
So she's like, "You're not a good guy." So I mean, I'm happy that Darla had enough sense to be like, "You might have money, you might have looks, but like, bro, like this is not it."
Well, one thing we know about Darla is that she holds her boyfriends to a high standard.
Yes,
like she's not. Yes, she wants to be romanticized. She wants to be, but she wants it to come honest, and she's expecting a certain level of effort.
Yeah.
Because once she realized that, this is how she breaks up with Alfalfa. When she realizes that Alfalfa is lying and he's hiding her from his friends, that's when she dumps him.
Yeah, she's
like, nah, dog, like we're not. Yeah, like you're a romantic guy, but I need you to stand on 10 toes.
Yeah. He only had 2 toes down.
If that, maybe 5. He was
depending on the day.
He was half in, half out. He had 5 toes with Darla, 5 toes with the He-Man Woman Haters, and she was like, "I need all 10, dog."
After the car gets stolen, now they're trying to figure out we basically need to. They have no clubhouse and they have no vehicle, so they're down bad.
Yeah, they're down bad,
and they're like, "Man, we need a way to get money."
And after this, and this is also after the car gets stolen, is when Spanky and Alfalfa have the big blowout where they yell at each other, and he calls him a Judas Priest, which is hilarious. And that's when they kind of break up before Stymie gets them together.
But them breaking up essentially broke up the entire club. Because they showed the rest of the boys, and the boys were all kind of on their own. So I'm like, so Spanky just stopped holding meetings?
He was depressed, man. He was sad. He lost his best friend.
I was like, dang, the whole crew was done. Yeah. It's almost like when a couple breaks up, like in a group chat, and then it's like, what do you do? Like, who gets the friends?
Well, especially if the couple brought all the friends together.
Yeah.
Then it's weird to keep hanging out without one of them.
Damn, I feel like I'm talking about Friends. When Ross and Rachel broke up, and they had to end up like meeting up behind the other's back.
They were having secret hangs. They were having. That's literally what happened.
Yeah, so the whole club is broken up, but then Stymie comes back, brings them all together, and he's like, "Come on, y'all, we got to find a way to make it work." And so Alfalfa and Spanky do end up reuniting and driving together. And the car that they made, I'm like, these kids have a lot of crazy mechanic skills because they're stealing parts from like washing machines and dryers. They have like wooden chairs. They have a whole bunch of random items essentially that they're just somehow fixing them together and creating their own
little bit of movie magic
go-kart.
They're also I never noticed that the body of the car is a trash bin.
Oh yeah.
And then the front grille is like a bird cage. Like it's like a bunch of jumbled up pieces, which like I'm not sure how this car would drive. But again, amazing elementary school mechanical skills.
I was very impressed.
So they are somehow able to rebuild a car in like 2 days, nonetheless.
It's good stuff. So now they're at the race, and the stakes are high because it's no longer just the fact that now they're racing against those 2 bullies who have their old vehicle. Now they're also racing against Waldo, who has this like pimped out vehicle. It's like all silver, looks like a rocket. He has like a space suit on. It looks like with a helmet. Like, I mean,
turbines for speed. He has a switch, and then It just rockets. It's like he gets the car from the Jetsons or something. How the hell did this kid make this?
Or Inspector Gadget.
And also, you just moved to town. How did you even know about this? He probably just got somebody to. He probably paid somebody to build him a car.
Yeah. Very easy. You got that money. So now they're out of the race, and like I said before, it's like
you left out perhaps the biggest stakes, which is
the talent show.
The winner is going to get $500.
Yeah.
And this is the money that they need in order to buy the lumber required to rebuild their clubhouse.
That's right, because they quoted him $450. What they were quoted for lumber, and that was Norm.
George Wendt.
I'm like,
Norm.
Norm
from
Cheers.
Yeah.
Was trying to sell them the lumber. They were like, yeah, this is not what you guys have enough of. But that whole this is people, we need your money.
Step right up here. 4-foot man eating chicken.
I love Spanky, man.
Spanky's the man. There are a number of great cameos throughout this film.
Yeah.
Which I was taking note of. We mentioned Whoopi Goldberg makes a cameo as Buckwheat's mom. We also see Donald Trump playing Waldo's father. We get George Wendt as the guy who's running the lumber shop. We see the Olsen twins show up during the girls' sleepover. At the end of the movie, we get a cameo by Raven Simone after the club has been integrated.
Yeah.
Who else?
Reba McEntire
plays
AJ, the greatest racer.
AJ Ferguson. The greatest race car driver in the world.
Leah Thompson
plays the ballet instructor, Darla's ballet instructor. We get Mel Brooks playing the guy who is the who's one of the guy who works in the bank who's giving out loans. Or
he's
not
not
giving out loans.
Yeah, when he was on the screen, he made me laugh because
he was excellent. He was in the movie for 2 minutes, and he's amazing.
He was fantastic. He was like, "Oh, this is a hardworking man, his father of 12 children." He was like, "Loan denied."
Right.
It's like, oh, fantastic.
What is your account number? 6?
He's a 6. Try 7 or try 8. He's like 7.
What is your account number?
7.
7. 7.
Try 8. 8?
Heard enough.
Ouch!
If you were my kids, I'd punish you.
If we were your kids, we'd punish ourselves.
Leave the premises post-haste.
You can't treat people this way, mister.
You're not people. You're kids.
Daryl Hannah is also in the movie playing Miss Crabtree, which I guess is their teacher in school.
Yeah.
And I think that's all of them. But still, they pack in a lot of cameos in this movie that's only an hour and a half long.
Yeah. But none of them are like overkill. You know what I mean? I feel they all fit
they all
really
give
well.
exactly what they needed to give.
Yeah.
Mel Brooks and Leah Thompson are my favorite just because they get the most screen time. And they're both very funny. What would you say is your favorite scene from this movie?
I mean, you mentioned it. Probably the sleepover. Like, I really enjoy the whole back and forth. Yeah.
Girls,
And then it's like while they're sitting there bashing the other sex and talking about what they hate, what they love, what they hate about both of them. Every time the thunder would come on, they'd be like, ah, and start screaming, like to remind you that these are actually children. Because throughout the movie, it's like the dialogue is so elevated at times that you forget like these are all very young children who are doing this film.
But they're still scared of thunder.
Exactly. At the end of the day, they're still terrified of the loud noises during a storm, which I liked. And I mean, there are things about the movie that I'm laughing to myself. Like during all of the scenes where the boys are in the clubhouse and they have a certain way that they run these meetings, right? And for instance, like you have to ask permission, I guess, from Spanky before you can do certain things. And so at one point, Froggy says, hey, can I get an Azuga? And he's like, Azuga, 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 Azuga. And Spanky's like, hey, nice Azugas.
Nice Azugas. Hey, nice Azugas.
That joint absolutely kills me.
Spanky's the man.
In the same way.
Nah, but you notice that Froggy loves a cheer. Because he's always asking for cheers. Yeah. He's like, can I get a spoilioli? Spoilioli, spoilioli. Yo, I feel like he makes them up on the spot. I feel like he just comes up with different phrases, and then he's like, yo, let me get an Azuga. Like, he just comes up with something, and then they be like, yeah, with that. Azuga.
You might be right.
Yo, he's just coming up with them. He's coming up like
every time's a different thing.
That's his role, man. That's his role. He's the chant guy. You need a chant.
Man, I love that so much. Another part that I really like in relation to that is when they have the whole court proceedings for Alfalfa after he burns down the clubhouse, and Spanky says to him, how do you plead? And he's like, great. This. He's like, please have mercy on me. Please, please, please. And he's like, pretty good plead.
That's a Buckwheat line, yeah.
Pretty good. I feel like that was one of our younger brother Dave's like favorite lines.
Oh, we used to always that phrase definitely went platinum in our household for sure. Pretty good pleading. It's a great line.
It's so good. Like, so I like all those little scenes with the boys, man. Just crack me up because they're just so good.
So to close out the plot of this movie, they get in the race. Waldo basically tries to run them off the road. He and Darla get into a fight. He presumably kicks her out of the car and rejoins the race. At the end of the race, it's the He-Man Womun Haters Club. There's Waldo's car, and there is Woman Butch's car, and they're all neck and neck in the lead. And Woman Butch throw a smoke flare that gets stuck in the grill of Spanky and Alfalfa's car. Waldo approaches the car, drives up next to it, and sprays it with water to let the smoke out. And then as this happens, Darla's handkerchief flies from the top of the car, from the front of the car. Alfalfa's like, I need my Lady Fair's handkerchief. So as he's trying to reattach it to the front of the car, his pointing hair sticks out and actually wins them the race.
Which I feel like it's cheating.
It is, because he's not actually seated in the car.
Yeah.
But whatever. They win. They win the money. And then we find out at the end, it was not Waldo. It was actually Darla, which means she took over this man's car and kicked him out.
Right, because I'm trying to figure out. I'm like, how did this happen? Because
she said, pull over, let me out. And I guess somehow
she pull him out of the car? Like,
she must have yoked him up and took his car.
Yeah.
And left him on the side of the road.
She carjacked him.
She did.
At the end of it, after...
She did.
Because at the end, they're getting ready to be like,
she doesn't screw around, man. Darla's not, she's not playing with y'all.
I mean, clearly, Spanky says to who we think is Waldo, put her there, pal. Thanks for helping us out. You know, we do have this club, He-Man Womun Haters Club. You'd like to join us.
Making a pitch?
Like, yeah. It was very much making a pitch. And they realized, like, wait a minute, this is not Waldo, because Waldo's pulling up in his car. And
you'll be hearing from my lawyers.
Bro, that part cracked me up. Because, like, just the fist that he made, he said it with such gumption.
He's definitely giving cartoon villain energy the entire. You'll be hearing from my lawyers.
And it's like they actually might.
They actually might be hearing.
They actually might get a letter,
a
cease and desist or something. So yeah, that part really killed me. But yeah, I'm not quite sure she got him out that car, but clearly she is about that business.
But this changes Spanky's entire perspective of girls, because he's like, yo, like, this was Darla? Like, I thought girls was trash. Like, she actually helped us win.
And she could drive.
She got us lit. He finds out that his favorite race car driver is actually a woman.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, he's like, yo, you know what, Alfalfa, you might have been cooking with this one. Let me reconsider. And by the end of the film, they are able to reconvene. They're able to rebuild their clubhouse, but now women are welcome. And the entire club has been integrated, where there are boys and girls. And it seems like every boy has a partner now.
Except for Spanky.
Yeah, but Spanky's above the fray. He's not worried about these petty relationships. He has a club to run.
That's true.
He's a busy man. Even the monkey gets a girlfriend.
That's true. You're right. Yeah,
so, what would you say is the theme of this movie?
It's all about inclusivity, man.
Yeah.
Because initially it's like, oh, boys over here, girls over there, and they learn, hey, guess what? Although we may be different, we have things in common. Although it may be different, they have things that can be of value to help you. Because Carla's the one. Darla's the one who made sure they didn't basically run into God knows what or spin out or whatever else.
Or die.
I mean, yeah, like
they could have died.
She saves them. She helped them out. She's clearly talented. And like Darla has a brain on her head. Like she's not one of these dumb girls out here like, just giggling.
No, like, she's maybe the smartest person in the movie, other than maybe Stymie.
You're right. So once he realizes like, oh, they have some value to add, like I think you would think that in today's world people would be aware of this, but it's still a message that I think
it's still up for debate.
It needs to be repeated because people don't seem to understand that people can be different from you and still be of value.
Or God forbid, women.
Well,
forget about it.
Now it's even worse.
Yeah. I think in addition to that, there's also this theme about the power of friendship and the ability to overcome great odds when you're able to stick together, which we just saw from the 2026 New York Knicks. Overcoming great odds through the power of friendship.
Knicks in 5, baby.
Knicks in
5. They're gonna be sick of hearing us talk about the Knicks.
Yeah, of course. But this is what we have to do for the rest of the summer. This is just the rules. But yeah, so I think those basically are the two themes. I did before we get into our rewind ratings. There are a few things, like I said, that did not age too well.
Before the facts, but
yeah, well, yes.
Yeah.
We talked about the dick jokes. There's the his hair popping a boner when Darla kisses him.
Mm-hmm.
There's the is that a cowlick or are you just glad to see me? Which I didn't love that line coming from a grown adult woman. There's also the part where they're dressed up in the tutus and they're trying to escape Woym and Butch, and Alfalfa runs into the boys' club. Yeah, dressed in a tutu and is kicked out and told never come back again.
Yeah,
so I'm like, well, he's clearly a boy, and he's showing him at the boys'
Spanky,
club.
But yeah, same thing.
But he can't dress like this.
Yeah,
so that wasn't great.
Don't forget Froggy. Froggy said he had a new.
Oh, I whipped out my lizard.
Yeah,
that was the third dick joke in this film. So yeah, I did not love all of that, and probably was better off that I hadn't remembered.
Oh, there's one more when Spanky and Alfalfa are trying to sneak into the show, and they have on, they're basically wearing a girl's wig and a costume, which again is kind of odd because why do they just have random wigs back there?
It was in the costume room. The costume room has everything you need.
And just 2 extra costumes. They're just okay. So anyway, they go into the room with the rest of the dancers, and one of the girls says, "Are you a fairy?" And they're both like, "No." And she's like, "I mean a sugar plum fairy." And they're like, "Oh yeah." And I was like,
"Yeah, that was
we didn't need to do that.
That was eye rolly." Yeah. But other than that, the rest of the movie aged pretty well. Just the dick jokes and homophobia could have probably been left out. All right, what facts do you have?
Okay, so as you know, this is not an original. This was originally based on TV shorts that ran from 1922 to 1938. It was originally called Our Gang, and then it was later rebundled into a show called The Little Rascals, and that series ran on television through 1944. Because MGM owned the rights to the title Our Gang, when the early films were re-released and the new series was started, the name was switched from Our Gang to The Little Rascals, and that's why this is the title that we use now. They also had like a 1982 cartoon. They had a number of other movies, which I'm not going to go through. This series was very memorable at the time because it broke new ground during the Jim Crow era of racial segregation in the United States because it had black and white children playing together as equals. And like race really wasn't, I mean, I shouldn't say that. I didn't watch the black and white show, so I can't speak for all episodes, but from what I could understand, they definitely wanted it at a point to just show kids being kids without having race being like a factor.
Yeah.
So I believe like the producer wanted kids who just were able to act. That's all they cared about. They didn't really care what they looked like, which is how you were able to have, this different mix of kids. And the show was really supposed to be told from the point of view of real children, most of whom were poor. And the gang was often at odds with rich kids and the rich parents. So,
which is consistent in
Yeah.
this film as well.
yeah.
I also noticed that the boys in the club all kind of dress like they're in like the 30s.
Yeah.
So that was
That's done
probably also a
intentionally.
nod to the film. Like even like the suit that Alfalfa wears or the clothes that Spanky wears, like they don't look like they're dressed for the 90s.
Yeah, you're taking words right out of my mouth. My very next fact was that the movie did, in fact, borrow costumes, gags, and similarities from the TV show. For instance, the go-karts knocking over pedestrians on the sidewalk was from an episode.
Oh, that was so funny.
Spiking Alfalfa and Darla's lunch, Alfalfa's bubble song, the ballet recital, and then at the very beginning, Buckwheat and Porky, when they catch each other's fishing hook and they're going back and forth, those are all from actual episodes.
Oh, wonderful.
So that's pretty dope. I mean, there's a lot. I'm not going to talk about all of them. I will say what I really liked was that in the movie, Spanky and Alfalfa's last names are Switzer and McFarland. And those were the last names of the actors who originally played them in the 1930s.
Oh, that's a nice nod.
And just one little fact that is interesting is that back when when the show first came out in 1922, at just 7 years old, there was an actor named Ernest Frederick Morrison. He was the highest paid black actor in Hollywood, earning $10,000 a year.
Wow.
Back in 1992.
Wow.
So shout out to Ernest Frederick Morrison, wherever you may be now.
Well, if we're going to talk about things that didn't age well.
Oh, yeah. Always.
We're going to have to talk a little bit about Bug Hall, who played Alfalfa in this movie because he didn't age well.
I don't remember what happened to him.
So I did not know this. I was just clicking on his information as I was looking up this movie because I was like, oh, I wonder what happened to this kid. And it turns out that it says that he converted to Catholicism in 2013, after which he left Hollywood in 2020.
Okay.
And stated in 2021 that he and his family had moved to a farm in the Midwest to undertake a vow of poverty. Okay. That's fine. But then he had some problematic tweets.
Oh, no.
Where he is basically was defending marital duty and corporal punishment of minors. He said the truth will always be unpopular, but eternity will always be sweet. He was criticized on Twitter for referring to his daughters as dishwashers. And he was posting about the birth of his son, who he called his heir.
Oh.
And described himself as a radical Catholic extremist. And apparently, he has basically left Hollywood. He's living out in the woods somewhere. If you look a picture of him up, he looks like someone who lives in the woods. And is he went the complete other way of being Hollywood.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
It's like, bro, you trying to go all the way, I guess, the complete opposite of Darla's character? He's like, I don't want a wife who has opinions of her own.
Yeah, and we talked about homophobia. He also says there's no such thing as gay sex.
Oh, God.
Sodomites simulate sex. Yes, he used the word sodomite.
The word sodomite, yeah, already it's just kind of like, okay.
So, this is, he went the other way. Our friend from Little Rascals is long gone.
Dude, that man.
All right. And now,
it's time for the Rewind Ratings.
For our Rewind rating, I guess I'll go first.
Yep.
I had a lot of fun watching this movie again. Like, I remember we watched it a lot, like I said, growing up. I had not watched it in years, at least a decade, if not longer. And so like I remembered mostly everything that happened. But I think like watching it over, some of the more problematic stuff jumped out, which was like, they probably could have left this line out of the movie, or this part didn't really need to be there. But for the most part, I think the kids carrying the film is still very enjoyable. There were multiple parts throughout the hour and a half of me watching this movie that I like laughed out loud, where I was like, this is just smart comedy, and it's like innocent, and it's these kids and they're all super cute, and it's a fun movie to watch, which, you can't always say that about kids movies. So I want to rate this pretty high, because I do think that the replay value on this movie is pretty high as well. I'm gonna go 4.5 rewinds, and I'm docking it a half rewind for the problematic stuff that I named in my didn't age well section.
Yeah.
So 4.5.
This was a lot of fun. The timing is perfect, like a nice hour and a half. It flies by. The kids, the acting is fantastic. You just feel like you get immersed in this world where these kids are essentially just acting like adults. And all the actors were just so spot on that it's just a very memorable film. And watching it back, man, I had no worries that it wouldn't age well. And I was very surprised that, the number of dick jokes in there, I was surprised by. I didn't remember all of those. But other than that, and like Joel went over them, I'm not going to go over them again. I probably will dock a little bit of points for that, but I really, really enjoyed it. I smiled, I laughed, I rooted for the kids, and by the end, it's a very clear message, and definitely a good family film. The kids won't understand the sex jokes anyway, so they can watch it.
I know I didn't.
Yeah, so they can watch it. It's a good family film. I'm also going to give it a 4.5.
There you go. 2 4.5 ratings for the Little Rascals. What do you think of this movie? Oh, also, you can watch this movie on Amazon Prime.
That's right.
So if you want to check this out, feel free to give it a rewatch of your own. And then let us know what your rewind rating is. Again, we can be reached via email at rewindrewatch1990s@gmail.com. Or on social media at RR90spod. And you can also join our Patreon, where we have an exclusive chat with Patreon members and release bonus episodes where we cover movies from the late 80s and early 2000s. And you got a sneak peek of the Patreon last week, where we released our Dirty Dancing episode, which is one of our Patreon exclusives. So if you like that and you want to hear more movies from outside the 90s, consider joining our Patreon, which is only $5 a month.
Yeah, perfect. I actually wanted to follow up, since you mentioned Patreon. We got 2 really interesting messages in Patreon about 2 of our recent-ish episodes. So the first one is regarding Dangerous Minds. And if you recall, during the episode, we were talking about how they bused the kids from one city to the other, and we were kind of confused as to what was going on. So one of our Patreon members, Tanea, actually lives out in the Bay Area in California. And she said, hey, I have Dangerous Mind updates. She said she went to an event in Belmont, and she brought up basically the whole busing situation while she was there. And she said she was kind of confused because Palo Alto is actually richer than Belmont. So she's kind of like, how can they bus from the richer place to the poorer place? And also, they're both in different counties. So there was some confusion there. But someone told her that they did, in fact, bus high school students from East Palo Alto.
And that's a different city, I'm assuming.
Correct.
Okay.
Up until about 6 years ago. So it's pretty recently.
So the mines were still dangerous.
Yeah.
They were dangerous for years.
They basically ended up shutting down the East Palo Alto, school or whatever. So basically, she said East Palo Alto is a different city than just regular Palo Alto. And for some reason in the movie, they just dropped the East. And that's why there was a bunch of confusion.
I see.
So
okay.
She just wanted to let us know they are different places and that it did in fact happen from East Palo Alto. So Shout out to
Based on a
Tanea
true story.
for clarifying that for all of us because we were definitely scratching our heads as to why they were being bussed.
A little California knowledge for us.
Yeah. And then secondly, we had some clarification from Thwip Stickers. And he basically was talking about our Fresh Prince episode where Joel was saying that the character of Carlton over time had been changed, made him more cartoonish, made him seem like he was a complete idiot. Whereas in the first
he had
episode,
no social skills.
Yeah, like they just made him look absolutely crazy. And it's like, why did they do this? And so Thrift Stickers clarified that there's actually a term for this, and it's called Flanderization. And the term apparently was coined from The Simpsons show because they had a character on there named Ned Flanders who basically over the run of the show became increasingly more caricatured. He basically started out from being like a friendly, good-hearted Christian neighbor, but then over time he turned into like a dogmatic, evangelical Bible thumper, and he became like so over the top
of himself. Yeah.
Where it was like, all right. So basically, the definition is this is per Wikipedia.
They kind of did it with Kramer too. If you look at how Seinfeld began, he was just like a quirky neighbor, by the end, he's like a complete cartoon.
Yeah. So it says Flanderization is the process through which a fictional character's essential traits are oversimplified and exaggerated over a serial work. So
that's definitely Kramer. And probably Joey and probably Phoebe from Friends too.
Yeah.
I don't love Flanderization. I'm not a huge fan of that. All right. Before we wrap up, any final words on the Little Rascals?
Oh man, it's just so hard to pick. There's so many.
Well, you already said like 5 of them, so
I know.
Pick a different one.
Okay. I'm going to say, Dear Darla, I hate your stinking guts. You make me vomit. You're the scum between my toes. Love, Alfalfa.
That's a good one. All right, for my final words, babes are like a bad song. Once you get them stuck in your head, you can't get them out again.
Was that Stymie?
That was Stymie. That was Stymie. Yo, shout out to Stymie, man. I didn't realize how much I liked this character until I watched it as an adult. But Stymie definitely stood out to me. Shout out to him.
All right, y'all. We'll see you later.
Adios.